Welcome back tonight, guys. We are looking at Mvis. So Mvis is a stock which has received a lot of attention recently. Microvision stock has rocketed today. It's up by 4%. Past 5 days, big gains have been made as well. Obviously, last Thursday we're on a price of $13. Right now we're almost double that. We're on $20.99, almost even touching 21, as you can see. Overall, we can see basically in the past month or so, the price of this stock has hit lows down here of about $10, and now it's double that at 20. The past 6 months again showing a very clear and very great picture for this stock. Obviously, if you'd have bought this one back in October or even November of 2020, you'd have paid $1 per share, or at least $1.86. And if you'd have held until now, you can just imagine the massive profits that you would have made. Anyway, there's no point looking at the profits that you could have made. Let's look at the profits that you could potentially make going forwards into the future. So I'm giving all of my thoughts and opinions on Microvision tonight. This video is going to be relatively quick, but we are going to be giving a brief overview of what the company does and the big catalyst which we do have coming out tomorrow. I'm sure a lot of you guys do know what this is, but just to remind you, earnings are going to be expected to come out tomorrow. We can see down here they're coming out on the 29th, or at least they are scheduled to do so. This is Q1 obviously, so yeah, a lot is in the works for Mvis. Let's talk about all that, but first let me just note I am not a financial advisor. I know that you already know that, but I am going to restate it both for my safety and for yours. Make sure to do your own research, do your own due diligence, as this video, whilst it does contain some facts, is also based off my opinion, and my opinion may be different to yours, so please go over the numbers and the facts of the company yourself, and obviously come to your own conclusions, as you may actually have differing views from myself. Anyway, if you may enjoy the video, do give it a like, do smash that subscribe button as well. We talk about all sorts of stocks every single day, and if you guys do show enough love on this video, we'll talk about Mvis a bit more, because I know a lot of people are pumped about the stock for many different reasons. Well, we are going to start off by again quickly looking at the price action, this time on the slightly more technical charts than Yahoo Finance, where we can obviously see this big growth that we have seen in the past month or so. So if we zoom out a little bit, again you can see a bit of context. Let's try and put this one on the 1 day charts, where we can obviously see the massive gains that have been made. So realistically, this one rocketed from about the 14th or 15th of April, where we have seen this massive breakout. We have a volume today of about 177.13 million. If we do want some context on how volume usually moves for the stock, previously, yesterday we saw volume of about 157, and the day before that we saw volume of 213 million. So again, volume has been stepping up recently. Even today it is quite high, which is good. So a lot of interest in the stock, and fundamentally and most crucially is still moving up, which is good in a way. So again, we're going to be talking more about this in just a moment. Now let's move on to a brief look at what the company does do, if we can have a quick look down here. So this basically defines the company. We can see that this stock is basically working in the area of technology. So again, Microvision on their website says, headquartered in Redmond, Washington, Microvision is part of the conclave of high-tech leaders in the greater Seattle area. Grounded in our deep northwest roots that go back to the laboratories at University of Washington, we maintain a global outlook as we work with leading companies around the world to bring revolutionary technologies and solutions to market. We can see Microvision is a pioneer of laser beam scanning, LBS. We can see that this is basically something that they market under their brand called Pico P, and we can see scanning technology is also part of this. Obviously, their technology allows them to create high-resolution miniature projections, displays, and LiDAR sensors. This core technology is at the foundation for multiple products in the 3 primary application segments, which we can see listed below. So again, this gives us a very, very quick overview of what the company does, if you were wondering. I'm sure most of you guys do know that anyway, but again, this is not intended to be a fundamental analysis. We are looking at the fundamentals possibly at some date very soon, perhaps as soon as later this week, if you guys do enjoy this video. But this one, we are just basically establishing what the company does on a very brief level, and that is why I do recommend that you do your own research into this stock, because there is a lot to talk about, and I'm not going to get it all done in this 10-minute video, so hopefully I'll make like a 20 or 30-minute one at some point later on in the week, again if you guys do enjoy this one. Anyway, let's get back to look at the company and some of the interesting things which you might want to know. So this article is coming from just a few days ago. It was actually updated on the 28th of April, so literally today. We can see that this article says that Microvision shares gain after a sample hardware completion. So again, we can see down here, share price is apparently rallying after it announced that it has completed a sample hardware and development platform demonstration for performance of key features following its long-range LiDAR sensor. So again, this tells us about what is going on, and people obviously are quite optimistic from a fundamental standpoint. Now there is a lot more at play, but I do think this is interesting when we are looking at the company's fundamentals. Things not doing too bad, and subsequently the share price is up today. That is definitely one reason why it could be. Now another thing which people definitely always bring my attention to when we talk about this stock is people believe it is the next short squeeze. Now I am going to talk very briefly on this one just for a moment right here, and people do believe this has potential to happen. Well, if we look at the numbers, we can see that the short volume ratio is 25%. Honestly, that's not bad. It is definitely in a good territory. As far as I am aware, it is slightly lower than both GME and AMC, I do believe. Short shares availability was updated apparently 3 hours ago, and it's 800,000, so not bad at all. Honestly, guys, this one does have some potential for that to happen, but it's also possible that that may not happen either. Again, this is one of these cases once more where if we are ever going to see a short squeeze, I do believe it would be the case that we would need to see a bit more volume in the stock. So again, I definitely wouldn't see this as an impossible thing, but I also can understand why people are short in the stock. So again, as other YouTubers have probably mentioned, I think it is important to look at both sides. On the upside, people who are going long on the stock, I do understand it. The company is looking decent. There is obviously an earnings call scheduled for tomorrow, literally. We can see obviously the previous earnings reports that we have had, and a bit of information about the company up here from December of 2020, where we can see revenue was down. We can see net income was also down, diluted EPS, which was up. We also have the net profit margin, which actually took a bit of a fall. We have operating income down ever so slightly. Net change in cash was up, that's good. Cash on hand again up, fantastic. Cost of revenue was apparently down. So again, all this information is coming from Google, but people are highly in anticipation of what is going to happen tomorrow. Ultimately, guys, I do see both sides of this argument, as I have mentioned. One, people are definitely trying to trigger a short squeeze. On the other hand, people think, or at least a shorts, the people who are short in the stock, see Microvision as perhaps a decent company, but ultimately the share price has gone up by double, if not more, obviously in such a short period of time. I do understand that some people, the shorts perhaps, are seeing this as a company which perhaps they can make some quick profits on. As with the price rocketing so high, they may see this company as overvalued. So I really do understand both sides of this argument, but I think right now with Microvision, we are in a very interesting position. Again, we can have a quick look down here at some more of the earnings if we do want to do so. This article talks about the earnings, and it is on Motley Fool. It basically lists about the fourth quarter earnings, so please do check them out if you do want to have a bit more of an in-depth look on the company. Like I did say, I will hopefully go over these with you guys on the channel very soon. But honestly, Microvision is in a very interesting position. Would I buy it right now? Honestly, it does depend. It depends how bullish you are on the stock. If you are quite bullish on the stock, I definitely would consider this one to be a decent buy. Obviously, personally, I think it isn't in the worst position, but I think it is absolutely quite hard to predict right now. People are considering this one as a meme stock. I do kind of understand that angle too. Obviously, it does carry quite a lot of risk with it. It has rocketed by a large amount. I can see it falling down by a little bit further. I don't think that would necessarily be a bad thing either. If the share price was to sell off for a bit, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We need to face this one realistically. The share price has rocketed many times over very recently, and of course, people are going to take profits subsequently, so please do be aware of that. So again, it's not the worst buy in my opinion, but if you were going on the bit more of a conservative edge, I definitely would wait out a week or so just to see what does happen with the share price. Of course, if it does go up, I may change my opinion on that. If it goes down, I definitely think it will be a much better buy at perhaps a lower price. This is just my personal opinion, so make sure to do your own research. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.